Good morning, everybody. This is Tuxedo E, and we're getting back to our playthrough of Book of Hours. Welcome back. When we last left off, we had just gone into the new season. It had just become winter, so we are going to see what we can do. We have a salon prepared for today, so let's get going. Welcome back. Everything is remembered. Hush House endures. So we have our affair being considered. We have our 5 people for afternoon tea. We are going to hold that down here in the Hall of Voices. So we just have to wait for afternoon to come around. Let's see what we have. We have our vegetables and our pears. Let's bring the pears back in town. Since it is raining outside, we don't want to leave those out in the rain, even though I know it doesn't do anything, but, allow me my indulgences. Then we have our vegetables. Put that down there. And our last bag of vegetables can go on the shelf over here, so we can make some vegetable stew later, or make some onions or leeks or marrows, if whatever we need. So we also have our apples here that we can use later. Anything else up here? Just some stone, some sand, lots of sand, some glass. Nothing that we really need at the moment. Alright. So let's see now. We've read all of our books that we had available. We just need somebody that can speak Hyksos to come and visit us, which luckily we should have somebody coming in that we haven't met yet for this next consultation. And don't really want to spend any of our soul fragments yet, because who knows what we're going to need for the salon. So we'll just fast forward and let for this tick over. Is there someone en route to Hush House? No, there's not. We've completed this affair. A story has no beginning or end. Arbitrarily, one chooses that moment of experience from which to look back or from which to look ahead. Graham Greene. This incident has seen its full complement of visitors and is concluded. There will be an interval before the next incident when visitors will seek a general consultation. Nothing particular is afoot. Any visitors this season will likely just want a general consultation. Dr. Ibn Aladim. Oh, this is our first time. He knows Sabazine and Latin, also Phrygian, Greek, and Sanskrit. The Alapine, historian, doctor, and above all, traveler. The good doctor has been associated with all but one of the libraries of the Watchman's Tree. He was even secretary nunciant of Hush House for a little while, but he has never been on good terms with the Suppression Bureau. And for those of you that have played Cultist Simulator or have been watching my Cultist Simulator stream, Dr. Ibn Aladim is one of the patrons you can get in that game. And as you might guess from his name, he is supposed to be the famous Al-Adim from history. So he is a long of some sort. And has been alive for several hundred years at this point. So we will go and talk to Dr. Adim, and for note, he likes scale food, but will not touch intoxicating drink. Peace be with you. I ask entry to the house. I can identify my visitor's interests and satisfy them with an appropriate book. He doesn't have any languages that I need to know, because we already have Sabazine. He's interested in rows and scales, so we can give him a book with either aspect. So let's find a rose book to give him. Oh, we have Just Verse here we can let him look at. My visitor wants to talk about horizons and hope. The answers can be found in my collection. So we'll let him get on with that while we wait for afternoon to come around. It is now midday. Should be able to start our salon now. So let's come down here to the Hall of Voices. We have 5 dishes. We have 5 drinks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Afternoon tea only at the appropriate time for afternoon tea. Not how it's done. I guess we have to wait for afternoon to pop over. But as soon as it does, we should be able to start the... Midday, before the Great Division, this was the 6th hour, when the priests led hymns to the sun in splendor. Now noon, as they say, is not as it was. Perhaps the new king will change that. How curious! You've satisfied your visitor and earned a reward, but the more they learn, the harder they'll be to satisfy in the future. So we've got an Iron Spintria and Aladim's card. It is now afternoon, the little hour called nons, when the doors of the mansis are most tightly closed. For the secular, the hours when we may anticipate tea or celebrate it. So that's our hint right there that it's time for afternoon tea. An eccentric or at least atmospheric choice of venue for a salon. Here one might have elevenses in the morning or afternoon tea later in the day. Neither event should include any intoxicating drinks. My guests take their places for afternoon tea. Instinct and emotion. Add a tryst card. I hosted guests for afternoon tea. I am particularly fond of muffins. Serena offers to shape a prison for Zachary and his passenger if things become too dire. He will consider it. He wryly shares his thoughts on what might contain him. Glass blowing and vessel crafting. Say something witty with a Shapt card. Arthur and Aaron are discussing which forbidden weapons should be permitted and which weapons have been permitted too long. Arthur is concerned by rumors of Dawnbreaker experiments in Britain. Aaron is bragging, a little, about his experience with the terrible feather called the Imhuline Tectrix. Dawnbreaker. That's something that if you played Cultist Simulator, the Dawnbreaker core was something that the Forge Apostle was creating. Basically an eldritch nuclear bomb. So let's see, we have glass blowing and vessel crafting. We need 6 knock and sky. So let's go ahead and start working on those while we have 1 sky here with our storm. We have the wind and waiting. That's 2. We have the Ascendant Harmony is 3. We have the Didymos is 4. We have the Enduring Reflection is 5. We have the Occult Scrap is 6. So we have all the memories we need to use that. And we also have Lesson Sharps coming out. Add a Fet card talking about the Mansis. Zachary and Arthur discuss a prophecy of the War of the Roads in which the imperishable legions war with the leashed flame to apocalyptic effect. Arthur fears the prophecy is not yet complete, that it refers to a coming war in Europe. Zachary agrees, but finds it difficult to articulate his reasons. He says that the imperishable legions are not the Légion de Sceaux, but, gesturing, ever gesturing, that they are yoked at the heart. Ragged crossroads. So let's see. Sharps is going to be Edge and Moon. So let's go read an Edge and Moon book to get ready for that. So we can do Victory of Crowns. which gets us edge. And then Ragged Crossroads is winter and edge. So we need 3 memories for that. So we can do winter. We can do edge. And another winter over here. We have plenty of those at this disk. Alright, so that's 2. 3 memories we can, 3 upgrades we can do. Hopefully we'll have enough time for them. Ask about dream, more Mansa's tales. Zachary asks Serena about the wheel locks of Treowen, in particular poor doomed Gregory, the demi-dyad, but they conclude that nothing in that sad story will help Zachary. Doran Wall. Well, that's already maxed out, so that gives us a free upgrade somewhere. Lively conversation, a Shapt card. Serena and Aaron debate the best and safest lighting conditions in which to read text recorded in Inks of Revelation. Well, we already have Inks of Revelation maxed out, so we'll be able to use that as a free upgrade somewhere else. A lively chat concludes. My guests leave happy, but gained an additional potent memory, so let's see what memory we get from afternoon tea. We get satisfaction, normal, and we get another enduring reflection. Okay, so T and Elevenses both give enduring reflection. Thanks. Alright, so let's grab glass blowing and vessel crafting and upgrade. Actually, we have our other ones we can do, since those are all persistent memories. So we'll do Ragged Crossroads, since it's the one that has the most of things that are not persistent. That should allow us to do sharps just before dawn breaks. Ragged Crossroads is now level 4. So now we can upgrade sharps with that. And our soul refreshes. Unfortunately, we lost our... Oh, we got another storm back again, so we can use that for upgrading glass blowing and vessel crafting. Knives, dangers, and things out of place. Yeah, that's edge, all right. All right, so glass blowing and vessel crafting. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 memories. And Shapt. And this will improve to level 7. So let's see. Doran Wall is upgraded to the max, so we can use that somewhere else. And Inks of Revelation is also maxed out, so we can use that somewhere else. So we can use it to upgrade. Doran Wall we can use to do Forge or knock. So we can do Spices and savors. We could do... Actually, we'll do Anberry and Lapidary. So we need Forge and Sky. So we can do Sky 1. We need 7 total. We have our Earthquake name, but we'll hold on to that for now. So Forge and Sky. Memory Storm. Pattern. So that's 3. Or 5. 6. And Solace gives us 7. Okay, so that lets us use up that door and wall to upgrade Anberry and Lapidary. Glass blowing and vessel crafting is now level 7. And let's see, what can we do with Inks of Revelation? Lantern or Moth? We have several good lantern skills already. Moth, we have lots of good skills already. And we could do this for purifications and exaltations. So we need 3 lantern or sky books once this is done. Easy enough. So lantern or sky. So sky 1. Lantern 2. Sky 3. We'll grab Anberry and Lapidary. 1, 2, 3, 4. Memory 7. And Forge or Sky. So we'll use a metal for that and upgrade this to level 8. And it is winter, so let's see. We need moon power, so we need to make us a our 6-point moon memory with Edict's Marshal. So we'll make our old wound, and then we'll upgrade that. 6, and then 2 from the fisherman makes 8. We need 14 to open that last room. 8, 9, 10. 11. 12. So we need 2 more points, a drink with 2 points of moon. Something with 2 points of moon. Gonna be tricky. Gonna be tricky. Alright, there's Librarian Lapidary finished. Put these mushrooms down somewhere so that they're not cluttering up our inventory. Yes, we can. We can set them just on the shelf there. And also, now that we have another card, we can add Aladim's card to our registry. Rue Bonaparte, niece. She interest in rose and scale books and affairs. He likes scale food, but will not touch intoxicating drink. So we'll note his address down. Then we say we were going to do purifications and exaltations. 1, 2, 3 lesson and soul fragment, and upgrade that to level 4. Alright, and then we refill that. Add the old wound, and we make a wormwood dream. So I think at this point it's probably, well, I don't know if I want to do that yet or not. I know we have to have something that can give us moon. 2 moon as a drink. I know we have to have moon somewhere as a drink, other than water. I'll figure it out eventually, and before the season is over, hopefully. So let's check on our further stories now that we've concluded the Open Reverend. It's this constellation over here. Is the Open Reverend blessed by a knock power identified as St. Agnes or something else? So we can have Douglas or Esan as our helper for that. We can help either one of those. So let's see, what roles would they fill in the Lighthouse Institute if we decided to go for them? So Esan would be the could be the Secretary Salvant again, as he once was before. And Douglas would be our Secretary Vigilant if we wanted to go with him. Enigmatic, we could do Dr. Peel. We haven't met Senor Corso Reverte yet. See, who else do we not have? We haven't met... Have we met Margot yet? Yes, we have. We have met Morgan. We have not met Kokil Emirijibi or Daymare. I think those are the only two we haven't yet. Yes, those are the only two we have left to meet, so they'll probably pop up on our next incident. At least one of them. So we may have to upgrade a Tryst card in order to get 2 Moon so that we can open that last door, that last room, but I'm kind of hoping I can figure out a way to do it without that. Actually, what we can do is we can start looking for unusual get visitors, because one of them should have 4 Moon, which would make it even, which would give us the 2 extra points we need. So let's go ahead and fast forward to the next day, because I don't think we have anything else we can do right now. Okay, so that is the next day. Let's see what our weather is going to be today. It's winter, so we might get some snow. Clouds. Doesn't really help us. Okay, so the sweet bones, if we put a soul fragment in and some money, we can seek unusual help. Visitors might be passing through. So this will take a minute as we chat through the people who are here, and we'll see what who may be in town to help us out. Oriflams is asking for 2 tally for the Fire Circle Tantra. The one known extant copy of this in Western Europe was stolen from the British Library in 1892. One Harvey Hattington confessed to the crime and claimed to have eaten it with butter and garlic in a moment of ungovernable whimsy. 8 Moth in Sanskrit, and it teaches us about solutions and separations. The surgeon plies the knife, and the mason plies the chisel. There are subtler tools than either. Well, that's a new one. We don't have that one. So yes, we definitely want to get that one. Oriflams thanks you for your custom. So let's see what kind of help we can find at the Sweet Bones. We want the one that gives Moon. A consulting engineer. A consulting engineer has stopped by the Sweet Bones on the way home. Provides forge, sky, and lantern assistance. Talk to her before she leaves if you want to use her services. Well, that's not going to help us out. So let's go again and see what else help we can find. Using up half our day just to find some help. Another engineer. And we'll do one more. Otherwise, we won't have time to give everything we need for them to open the room. A musician. Musician is entertaining the patrons of the Sweet Bones for pennies. Not very many pennies. He'd jump at a better paid opportunity. Provides sky, rose, and nectar assistance. Talk to him before he leaves if you want to use his services. Well, rose would help, but we don't really have ways to get to 14 rows, so we'll just have to wait for tomorrow. Oriflams thanks you for your custom. So we have the Fire Circle Tantra now, so let's go and read that so we can get our new skill. So it's Moth, so we have to read that up here. But all you have to do is apply Fet and Edict's Liminal, and we can master this mystery. So herein the great hooded princes are shown beseeching the wood to rise and devour an invading Timurid army. The Dapple King, the Honey Tree, and the Sea Twins all deny their request until they enlist the help of a burrowing secret keeper. So I'm not sure who the Dapple King is. The Honey Tree would be the Malachite, also known as the Ring Yu, and the Sea Twins would be the Sister and Witch or Witch and Sister. As burrowing secret keeper, we've seen reference to that before. That would be the Velvet, who takes the form of Moldy Warp, which is another name for moles. Armed with blackmail material from the burrowing secret keeper, aka the Velvet, the great hooded princes petition the powers of the wood for a second time and are successful. 1/4 of the Timurid army is devoured by bees. That would be the Malachite's effects. 1/4 drowns themselves. That would be the witch and the sister. And 1/4 disrobe themselves until nothing remains. The Dapple King. Sounds like that might be referring to possibly the mother of ants, but I don't know why she would be called the Dapple King if that's true. But okay, so we have memory intuition, so we'll mark that. We've got plenty of books that give us that, so we'll file this in our catalog down over here. And we have solutions and separations. We'll use that to gain a new skill, and then we can upgrade it to level 2. Because it is moth and knock. And we have the clouds, which are moth. And our shapt. Moth and knock. And it's ithistry or scolocoscopy. Interesting. And today brings the fog, which gives us 3 knock and 3 moon, although we won't be able to make use of that if we want to get help. So let's see who we have passing by today. Hopefully we can get somebody that has moon. So there it is, now level 2. And just because I'm curious, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 skills at level 9. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at level 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at 4. So we're doing pretty good there. We could probably fill out our wisdom tree if we wanted to, but we can leave that for the next exercise, because I think we've earned most of our skills at this point. I can't think of any that were missing offhand. Solutions and separations was the only one that stood out to me as being missing. I'm sure there's probably one that I've forgotten somewhere. Skulking nearby, a fugitive. Someone's taken a room upstairs for the night. He hasn't shown his face, but the village is abuzz with gossip. Provides scale, edge, and heart assistance. Talk to him before he leaves if you want to use his services. Well, that's not going to do us any good. So let's do it one more time. That should, hopefully, if we can get somebody that gives us moon, we'll have enough time to boost them up using the Wormwood Dream and other stuff we have. Poet. A poet has come to the Sweet Bones seeking inspiration, which mostly seems to mean drinking, but also complaining. The Elegaic poet provides winter, moth, and sky assistance. Talk to him before he leaves if you want to use his services. Well, that doesn't do us any good. So, Might as well go beachcombing. See if we can find some more goodies on the beach. And go out on the moors in wintertime. A walk on the moor. We can use our fet for that. And sand stories. Rhyme rims the moor tarns. So we might as well do some work and gain a little bit more money while we're waiting for those to process. We need to make another Ascendant Harmony. And then we'll make another Wind in Waiting once that's done. So anything we can make here with any of this stuff? We can investigate this curious seashell. We've never investigated one of those before. Analyze the substance. Nothing will remain. And we have some tea here we can brew. We also have some coffee we can brew. Now powder. Memory regret. Steam and scent both rise. It's ready. Let's see. We haven't investigated what Eva's locks can tell us, so let's investigate those. We have a couple of those laying around. Dissect the flower. Nothing will remain. We can sacrifice one of those because we found several on the beach. So there's a 6 for us. And we'll do some tutoring. Memory sent. Named for Lady Eva, who drowned herself with her grandchildren after the death of Sebastian, her nephew. Her motives were never clear. Her body and the bodies of her grandchildren were never found. And out on the moor, we found some animal bones. And on the beach, we found some contraband jetsam, flung overboard in furtive haste. So let's see. We might as well investigate some of these things we've had laying around. We can analyze this substance. Serpentine slab, the gray-green root rock of the Cornish coast. So there's our Ascendant Harmony. And let's make ourselves a Wind in Waiting now. And then we can use the Ascendant Harmony to make a Didymos. And Librarian Lapidary has something at 15 we still haven't discovered. Glassblowing and vessel crafting's got a lot of stuff we can make. Okay, this one makes Didymos, but we need extra sky power. Which we don't currently have. But we can know Oronoscopy makes Didymos. Wonder what it makes with 15 moon. Let's test that out, shall we? We add the Wormwood Dream, the Fog, a Tryst. Okay, it makes Bittersweet Certainty. It makes Asimel. And I bet if we take Ah, that's, I bet, what it does. So let's find a place where we can use the moon better. We can use it here at the Nocturnary. Can take pigment or liquid. We have some ASML over here, if I remember correctly. Yes. So take the ASML, the fog, a tryst, and ornoscopy. We can make a Didymos with ASML. Interesting. Draw the moon ink sigils that will bring a star's chilly dream to Earth. That's definitely a different way to make Didymos. But hey, we need one. We'll make it. And it doesn't use up our Ascendant Harmony, so we have this bottle of ASML sitting around. Might as well use it. Still leaves me wondering what this craft is. Have to investigate that later. And just because we have these laying around, we have some Ruby-wise Ruin. So let's find a place that we can do Grail crafting, which I think works over here. Nope, that's heart crafting there. We can do Grail crafting at the kitchen. Yes, so we can do Grail crafting here. So we'll do Resurgences and Emergences and Arab, which gets us to 15 Grail. Okay, so this doesn't do anything. We know that Ruby-wise Ruin can be promoted to Sacrament Asite. We just have to find the right skill that can do it. Okay, so that one makes a Curious Hunch, and then something with knock at 15 that we don't know. Makes Flushed Moments. Applebright Euphonies, maybe? Yes, this one is if we add a flower in, it makes an intoxicating it gives a mixture an intoxicating quality. So that would make Ruby-wise Ruin. So that's fine. Just to prove that, let's grab a flower. Yep, so that makes Ruby-wise Ruin. So we need three. We can add this, which adds 1 Grail. So we just need 2 extra Grail on top of that. So let's make us a Grail memory. We can do this one, which gets us 2 points of Grail. And that should allow us to unlock the Sacrament Asite. Or Sacrament Calcite, rather. Crushed. Memory Touch. We crushed the stone and got some touch memory for it. So let's see, does sand do the same thing? Analyze this substance, nothing will remain. Another 6 for us. Not that we're hurting for money, but more money never hurts. It's time. Memory salt. I guess that makes sense. If we consider sand, we get salt memory out of it. Alright, so there is our Grail memory. So we'll come to our kitchen and add that, and the Beguiling Melody, and our Arab. We had Applebright Euphonies, and a Ruby-wise Ruin, which we have another bottle of over here. Makes Sacrament Calcite. Use this liquor as a base for a Grail Sacrament. So let's see, do we have any other Grail? Yes, we have Tridesma Hera. Does that also make Sacrament Calcite? It do. If we were to add a flower. Nope. That one makes the Flushed Vomit. Pentiments and precursors. We would need to add one more. So that one does moments as well. Desires and dissolutions. Yeah, so that one makes Ruby Wise Ruin. And then if we add another point of Grail. So it does not go to Sacrament Calcite. It does something else. But since we have the ingredients and the memory anyway, we might as well make a Sacrament Calcite. Make a Grail Sacrament. And we can open up this package that we found. Ooh, something renounced. Who threw this overboard? We found a Hawthorn Blank, a wood favored by the Horned Axe. Wood with knock. We've helped people with their letters. And I think that's probably a good point at which to just about done there. So we'll see what's in our package, and then we'll probably go ahead and call it a day. Sorry we haven't done really all that much exciting today, but we did have our salon, and we used up our blessings for that. We've restocked on our permanent memories. And we've found what's in this. We'll find what's in this package. There's our wind in waiting. And Oronoscopy. The dream of a star is not apparent to the human eye, but its presence once felt could not be mistaken for anything else. So let's see. Oronoscopy also does make the Asimel itself. So we need a lens to make Asimel. So that makes Mazarine Fife. Yeah, so we'll let the day tick over here. There go our memories from investigations. And we'll go ahead and start another ticker here, seeing if we can find somebody that has moon. A gale today. Heart and sky. Some ambergris. Never, never, never call it whale vomit. So we can put that on one of our shelves. And put the wood there as well. Nope, we can put the wood down here in the basement. Since it's sacred to the Horned Axe, we'll put it in the Horned Axe's altar. Nope, won't fit there. Let's see, can we move things to make room? Yes. There we go. We'll speed up time just to see who we can find today. See if we can find our person with somebody with moon. Musician. Nope, we'll try one more time. In the name of the hour that gives life, the hour that takes life, of the hour that is not sated. Sacrament Calcite. So let me actually, before we go much further, let me go ahead and check my notes here and see if I can find anything that we can do that has 2 extra moon in the drink category. Let's see here. Beverages, beverages with moon, beverages with moon. Oh! We do have something with moon that we can use. Do we have one? We have to have one somewhere. Yes, we do. We have some Armagnac yeast. I forgot that has 2 moon in it. So that solves our problem right there. So if we don't get the person with extra moon in this go round, we can definitely just use the Armagnac yeast. We'll go ahead and pour a cup of that out. And that will let us get everything we need from the fisherman instead of the special guest if we can't get their special guest's help. A surrealist painter. A painter has come to Cornwall for the famous light of the region's afternoons. She provides grail, moth, and rose assistance. Well, that's not going to help us, so let's hire ourselves a fisherman. They offer moon and a little sky. Fishermen in this part of the world have been a reputation as smugglers, and worse than smugglers. Those days are past mostly, and they mostly just catch pilchards now. But they still remember the words spoken in silence to the moon and the sea. So we'll give him the Armagnac. Give him the Wormwood Dream. We'll give him the pilch or the mackerel. We can give him our tryst. We'll have just enough time to get him to start opening that door before night falls and we can't talk to him. What comes, neither of us knows yet, but we will. And then finally we give him the globe to get him to 14 moon. And now we can open up the final door in the house that we have not opened yet. The sagging dock. The storms have had their way with this since the prison was abandoned. It won't last much longer. And with that, that is the final door in the house that we needed to open. We found the loading dock. Here the supplies came in from every continent that the seas touch, from the bounds and beyond. Now and then the prisoners try to escape, but the sea is always hungry. So we have the loading dock crane. Long ago, this was the route by which provisions entered the jail, and which prisoners failed to escape. Discard objects here or release beasts. We also have some abandoned luggage, long past the help of any lost and found. A records box, a treasure stored by a musician spy. An unregarded rarity. What overlooked delight? And a crate of supplies, something set helpfully aside. So let's go ahead and start opening up this records box. Something unregarded. What overlooked delight? And with that, we will go ahead and call it a day for now. So we managed to get at least something done today. Sorry if it was a little boring for a while, though. So I will catch you all probably in a couple days. We do have our local con coming up this weekend, so I'm going to be busy with that, so I may not have time to do any recording for a while, but I will see you on the next episode. So thank you again. If you like what you've been watching, please leave a like or a comment down below. If you want to see where this journey is going to end, please subscribe.